Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into the world of AI risk management.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
It really is. And I know you're all eager to get a grasp on those new ISO standards.
ISO IEC 23894.2023.
Yeah, exactly. The ones everyone's talking about. So we've
Yeah,
got this fantastic guide navigating AI risk management to help us break it all down.
we'll unpack the key takeaways and really get to the heart of this complex topic.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What exactly AI risk management? I mean, for someone who's maybe just hearing about this for the first time.
Okay, well, imagine AI is this incredibly powerful engine that's propelling innovation across all these industries.
Right, like a driving force.
Yeah, but just like with any powerful engine, it needs to be carefully managed so you don't have any, mishaps along the way.
So AI risk management is like the brakes or the steering wheel for AI,
Exactly. We're talking about being proactive, anticipating problems like security breaches,
making sure it's used ethically.
right, and making sure it doesn't kind of go rogue and cause unintentional harm.
Yeah, the guide actually mentions a company that was using AI for supply chain optimization, and they were hit with a pretty bad data breach.
Oof. Yeah, that's a prime example of why AI risk management is so important.
And that's where these ISO IEC 23894.2023 standards come into play, right?
Exactly. They're kind of like the rule book for responsible AI development.
It doesn't matter what size company you are or what industry you're in,
Right. They apply to everyone from tech startups.
to big financial institutions.
Exactly. Think of it as a blueprint for safe, secure, and ethical AI systems.
Okay, so let's dig into some of the key chapters of these standards. One that really stood out to me is advanced risk identification techniques for AI systems.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
How do we even start to find these risks that could be hiding within these complex algorithms?
It's like detective work.
Yeah.
You're searching for potential vulnerabilities, but within AI systems, not a crime scene.
Right. And we can't just focus on the obvious stuff.
No, we need to be thinking several steps ahead.
So how do we do that? The guide talks about probabilistic risk assessments, or PRAs.
TRAs.
It sounds a little intimidating.
Okay, well, think of it like planning a road trip. You probably think about things like the weather, the traffic, potential detours.
Right, you want to be prepared.
The PRA is kind of like that. Yeah. It helps you assess the likelihood of things going wrong with your AI.
And what the impact would be if they did.
Exactly. It's like a risk map for your AI journey.
I like that. A risk map.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. The guide also mentions something called Bayesian inference.
Right, that's a powerful technique.
What is that? Exactly.
It's like updating your GPS as you drive. You start with an initial plan, but then you adjust based on traffic, road closures, new information.
So you're constantly refining your understanding of the risks.
Exactly. As your AI interacts with the real world and you gather more data.
Okay, so we've got PRAs, Bayesian inference, and then there's causal analysis.
Causal analysis.
And this isn't about figuring out, what caused the AI to spill its digital coffee this morning.
No, it's about understanding cause and effect relationships within AI systems.
Yeah.
Two things might look related on the surface, but causal analysis helps you figure out the real underlying reasons for certain outcomes.
So if an AI makes a decision that seems a little strained or unexpected, causal analysis can help us understand why.
Exactly. You're peeling back the layers and getting to the root of the AI's behavior.
It's interesting because it seems like we're using AI to help us assess the risks of AI. It's kind of meta.
It is. AI-driven risk assessment tools are becoming increasingly sophisticated. They can sift through tons of data looking for patterns that humans might miss.
Like AI detectives searching for clues we might overlook.
Precisely, they can help us prioritize risks based on potential impact and help us catch things early on.
That's fascinating. With all this talk about AI, where do humans fit into this whole picture?
Well, the guide emphasizes something called human in the loop, or HITL.
HITL.
Yeah, it basically means that humans are still involved in crucial parts of AI development and deployment.
So it's not about replacing humans altogether.
No, it's about finding that sweet spot where AI can augment our capabilities.
We get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. We leverage AI's analytical power, but we also retain human judgment, ethics, and common sense.
Makes sense. Okay, let's move on to the next chapter. Robustness and resilience engineering in AI systems.
Ah, yes, building AI that can withstand the unexpected.
Yeah, it sounds a little like something you'd see in a rocket scientist's handbook.
Maybe. But the concepts are actually pretty straightforward. Think of robustness as the AI's ability to handle variations and unexpected inputs without falling apart.
Okay, so like an off-road vehicle that can handle rough terrain.
Exactly. And then resilience is the AI's ability to recover from failures or disruptions.
So if it hits a metaphorical pothole, it can bounce back and keep going.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the guide digs into some practical techniques to achieve both these things. One of them is data diversity augmentation.
Data diversity augmentation. Break that down for me.
Okay, well, imagine you're teaching someone to drive. You wouldn't just have them drive in perfect conditions on a sunny day.
Right. You'd want them to experience different situations.
Exactly. Different weather, road types, maybe some tricky traffic situations. Data diversity augmentation is similar. It's about training your AI on a wide range of data, including those unusual edge cases it might encounter in the real world.
So you're essentially preparing it for anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The more diverse the training data, the better prepared it'll be to handle whatever comes its way.
Okay, that makes sense. The guide also mentions ensemble modeling. What's that all about?
Think of it like having a team of experts working together on a problem. Each expert brings their own perspective and expertise, and by combining their insights, you're more likely to reach a better solution.
Like a panel of judges on a talent show.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Each judge might have different preferences, but by looking at all the scores together, you get a more balanced assessment.
And in this case, you're combining multiple AI models.
Right, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. And by combining them, you create a more robust and accurate system.
That's a pretty clever approach. So we've got data diversity, ensemble modeling, and the guide also talks about these dynamic feedback loops.
Dynamic feedback loops, yes.
What are those?
These allow the AI to learn and adapt in real time based on the feedback it receives.
So it's like a self-correcting mechanism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If the AI makes a mistake or encounters something it hasn't seen before, it can adjust its behavior based on that feedback.
Like a GPS that's constantly recalculating the route.
Yes, exactly. Dynamic feedback loops make AI much more responsive to changing conditions.
This is all starting to come together. But what about those times when things go wrong, even with all these safeguards in place?
Well, that's where failure response protocols come in.
Okay, so like a plan B for AI.
Precisely. You outline what to do if the AI encounters a problem or starts acting up.
You've got to have a safety net.
Right, especially when these systems are making critical decisions. We can't just hope for the best.
And what about monitoring the AI over time? Is that important as well?
Definitely. Even the best AI models can experience what we call performance degradation over time.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the data they were trained on can become outdated, or the conditions they operate in might change. It's like a car that needs regular maintenance.
To keep it running smoothly.
Exactly. You need those regular checkups and tune-ups to prevent problems down the line.
This is all incredibly insightful. Thanks for walking me through it.
Of course, happy to help.
Now I'm really interested in getting into some of those specific techniques for actually mitigating risks.
Well, in that case, we should move on to advanced risk mitigation strategies in AI deployment. That's where things start to get really tactical.
All right, let's get tactical. What are some of the key strategies the guide highlights?
Well, one of the most fundamental steps is data validation.
Data validation.
Think of it like building a house. You don't want to use faulty materials, right?
Right.
It's the same with AI. You got to make sure the data you're using is accurate, reliable, free of any errors or inconsistencies.
Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. And the guide actually recommends using specialized tools that can automatically spot those inconsistencies.
Tools for data validation.
Yes, they can help catch things that humans might miss. It's all about having those checks and balances in place.
Okay, so data validation. What about understanding how the AI is making its decisions?
Right, that's what we call algorithmic transparency.
Algorithmic transparency.
Okay, if we can't understand why the AI is making certain choices, it becomes very difficult to trust those choices.
Or to catch any potential biases that might be creeping in.
Exactly. And there are a bunch of different techniques like interpretable machine learning and explainable AI or XAI that can help us peek inside the AI's decision-making process.
So it's not just about getting the right answer, it's about understanding the why behind it.
Exactly. And the guide even talks about some specific tools like Shape and Lime.
Shape and Lime.
Yes. These tools can actually show us which variables are the most influential in the AI's decision-making.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about monitoring the AI in real time? Is that an important piece of this puzzle too?
Real-time monitoring is critical. Think of it like having a dashboard that shows you all the vital signs of your AI system.
You're keeping a constant eye on its performance.
Exactly. It lets you spot potential problems early on and take action before they turn into something much bigger.
So we're being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly. We're staying ahead of the curve and preventing those oh no moments.
This is all making a lot more sense now. The guide also mentions using user feedback to update the models.
Yes, user feedback is invaluable. It's like getting reviews on a product.
So it helps you make the AI better.
Exactly. It gives you insights into how the AI is actually performing out in the real world and helps you identify areas for improvement.
It's all about continuous learning and improvement, right?
Right. User feedback helps us create AI systems that are more effective and more user-friendly.
It makes them better for everyone. The guide also briefly mentions something called risk transfer mechanisms.
Ah, yes, risk transfer.
They're those.
It's essentially a way to share the burden of risk. It could involve things like using insurance to cover potential losses or partnering with other companies that have specific expertise in AI risk management.
So if something does go wrong, you're not shouldering all the consequences on your own.
Exactly. It's a way to mitigate some of the potential financial or reputational damage.
That's smart. Okay, so we've talked about identifying risks, mitigating risks, but what about setting up the right systems from the get-go? That's where governance comes in, right?
Absolutely. The guide has a whole chapter on proactive governance frameworks for AI risk management.
Okay, so this is all about building that solid foundation for responsible AI.
Exactly. And the guide emphasizes a multi-stakeholder approach to governance.
Multi-stakeholder, so it's not just the tech people who are responsible here.
Not at all. Everyone needs to be involved, from the data scientists and engineers to the compliance officers, the legal experts, even the end users.
Wow, so it's a big team effort.
It is. It's about getting everyone on the same page and working together to ensure responsible AI development and deployment.
Collaboration is key.
Exactly. And the guide also highlights the importance of clear risk ownership.
So someone needs to be accountable if something goes wrong.
Right. It's about having clearly defined roles and responsibilities so that everyone knows who's in charge of what.
Okay, that makes sense. The guide also talks about keeping track of all the compliance requirements,
Ah, yes, that's crucial.
which can be quite a challenge in this rapidly changing world.
Absolutely. It's important to have systems in place to track all those evolving regulations and make sure your AI systems are always compliant.
The guide refers to this as automated compliance tracking,
Automated compliance tracking, yes. It's an ongoing process, not just a one-time check.
and it helps you stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. You want to avoid those legal or ethical headaches down the road.
Makes sense. And then there's the need for regular audits and reviews,
Audits and reviews are like taking your AI system for a checkup,
making sure everything is running smoothly.
right? You're evaluating what's working, identifying areas for improvement, and ensuring you're meeting your risk management goals.
So it's all about continuous improvement.
Precisely. You're always learning and evolving.
The guide also mentions the importance of having a contingency plan.
Ah, yes, the what-if plan.
So, like a plan for when the AI decides to take an unexpected vacation.
Haha, well, not exactly. But you're on the right track. It's about anticipating potential problems that could arise.
Technical glitches, data breaches.
Yes, and having a plan in place to minimize the damage and get back on track quickly.
So we're prepared for anything.
Exactly. A strong contingency plan is a crucial part of responsible AI development. You never want to be caught off guard.
This has been really helpful. It feels like we're building a solid foundation for ethical and responsible AI development and deployment.
We are. And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to explore how to weave those ethical considerations into every single step of the AI lifecycle.
Can't wait. See you in part 2.
See you then.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been laying down the groundwork for understanding AI risk management, and now it's fascinating to see how these principles actually play out in different industries.
Yeah, it's like these ISO standards are kind of a universal translator, right? They adapt to all these specific challenges in different sectors.
Exactly. Let's start with something that I think hits close to home for a lot of us: AI in hiring. It seems like everyone's using AI to screen resumes these days.
It is becoming increasingly common. The guide actually has a case study about a company that got into a bit of trouble with their AI hiring platform.
Uh-oh, what happened? Did they accidentally hire a robot instead of a person?
Not quite.
Hmm.
The problem was that the AI had been trained on all this historical hiring data,
Right.
and that data unfortunately reflected existing biases in the workforce.
So the AI was basically perpetuating those biases, even though it wasn't programmed to do that intentionally.
Exactly. It's a classic example of how AI can inherit human biases if we're not super careful.
That's a little worrying. So how did the company fix this?
They use the ISO standards for guidance and put in place a bunch of different measures to reduce bias in their hiring process.
Okay, like what? Did they send the AI to some kind of diversity training?
Well, they started by really carefully auditing the data that they were using to train the AI, making sure it was as diverse and representative as possible.
So cleaning up the AI's diet,
Yep.
making sure it was getting good information.
Yeah, exactly. They also use these things called fairness metrics to evaluate the AI's recommendations, making sure that candidates weren't being penalized based on things like gender or race.
So they were making sure the AI was being fair.
Yes, and they
Huh.
even use some more advanced techniques like adversarial debiasing.
Okay, what is that?
It's kind of like giving the AI a sparring partner that helps it learn to identify and overcome its own biases.
Oh, so they're training the AI to be more self-aware.
In a way, yes.
Mhm.
But maybe the most important thing they did was make the whole decision-making process more transparent.
Oh.
So the human recruiters could understand why the AI was recommending certain candidates.
So the humans could double-check the AI's work.
Exactly. And make sure it wasn't relying on harmful stereotypes.
It's a good example of how these ISO standards can really help build AI systems that are not just effective, but also fair.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Ready to move on to another industry.
Yeah, let's do it. What else you got?
All right, let's talk about insurance. The guide has a case study about an insurance company that used AI to streamline their fraud detection process.
Using AI to catch insurance scammers. That sounds pretty intense.
It is. Fraudulent insurance claims cost companies a ton of money every year, so they're really motivated to use AI to stop it.
But I imagine there are some risks there too. What if the AI accidentally flags a legitimate claim as fraudulent?
You're right, that's a huge concern.
Yeah.
And this company took it very seriously. They knew that false positives could really damage their reputation.
So how do they balance catching the bad guys with protecting the innocent?
They used a multi-layered approach with different types of AI models to identify suspicious activity.
So like a team of AI detectives.
Yeah, something like that. They also use something called synthetic data for testing.
Synthetic data, is that like AI-generated fake news?
No, no. It's artificial data that's designed to look like real data, but it has specific patterns that represent fraudulent activity.
Oh, so they were training the AI on fake scams.
Essentially, yes. It helped the AI learn to spot those sophisticated tricks that fraudsters use.
Clever. But were humans still involved in this process at all?
Absolutely. They had what's called a human-in-the-loop system.
It's human in the loop. Okay.
Yeah, so any claim that the AI flagged as potentially fraudulent was still reviewed by a human expert.
So it was a partnership between the AI and the human.
Exactly. The AI was a really powerful tool, but they still relied on human judgment for those final decisions.
That makes sense. So did it work?
It did. They saw a big drop in fraudulent claims, and they kept those false positives really low.
That's impressive. Okay, what other industries are using AI in interesting ways?
Let's talk about energy. The guide has a case study about an energy company that implemented AI for predictive maintenance on their equipment in remote locations.
Predictive maintenance. So the AI is like a fortune teller for machines.
Huh, kind of.
Hmm.
The goal is to predict when equipment might break down so they can minimize those costly disruptions.
That's smart, especially in those hard-to-reach places.
Right, sending a repair crew out to a remote location can be a huge hassle.
But I imagine those harsh environments pose some challenges for AI too, right?
Absolutely. Things like extreme temperatures and dust can mess with sensitive equipment.
So how did they make sure the AI could handle it?
They were really strict about data quality. They had all these protocols in place to make sure the AI was only getting accurate information.
So no faulty sensor readings messing things up.
Exactly.
Huh.
And they also used anomaly detection algorithms to constantly monitor the data streams.
So kind of like an early warning system.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And on top of that, they created a super detailed incident response plan outlining what to do if the AI predicted a failure or if something unexpected happened.
So they were prepared for any situation.
Exactly. They knew that being prepared was super important when you're dealing with those remote locations.
Makes sense. And did it pay off?
It did. They were able to significantly reduce equipment downtime, which saved them a lot of time and money.
That's great. Okay, one more industry for you. What about retail? It seems like AI is popping up everywhere in retail these days.
Yeah, it's really changing the game. The guide talks about a retail chain that used AI for customer sentiment analysis.
Sentiment analysis. So they were using AI to figure out if their customers were happy or not?
Exactly. They were analyzing customer feedback from all kinds of sources.
Yeah.
Social media, online reviews, even in-store surveys.
Wow, that's a lot of data.
It was. They wanted to get a really clear picture of how people felt about their brand.
Were they trying to read their customers' minds?
Uh-huh. Not quite. But they were definitely trying to understand their customers' emotions.
I mean, happy customers are more likely to come back for more, right?
Exactly. But they ran into a bit of a problem. The AI wasn't always accurate in its analysis.
What do you mean? Was it misinterpreting things?
It was struggling with some of the nuances of human language. Things like sarcasm and slang.
It's hard for machines to understand those subtle cues, isn't it?
It is. So to fix this, they put a lot of effort into improving the AI's natural language processing abilities.
So they gave the AI a crash course in linguistics.
Yeah, exactly. They upgraded the algorithms and expanded the AI's vocabulary so it could better understand all those complex ways that humans express themselves.
And they made sure it was getting good quality data, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They really tightened up their data validation process, so the AI was only analyzing the most relevant feedback.
So no more trying to understand random emojis and internet slang.
Right. And they also started using those model explainability tools so their analysts could understand how the AI was making its predictions.
So if the AI said a customer was angry, they could see why.
Exactly. That transparency helped build trust in the AI's insights. And ultimately, they were able to significantly improve the accuracy of their sentiment analysis.
That's great. So it helped them understand their customers better.
It did. They were able to create better marketing campaigns, improve their products, and ultimately create a better customer experience.
It's fascinating to see how AI is changing the retail landscape. All right, let's switch gears one more time and talk about an industry that's using AI in some truly mind-blowing ways.
Okay, which one?
Pharmaceuticals. I know they're using AI to speed up drug discovery and develop treatments for all sorts of diseases.
Yeah, it's an incredibly exciting field, but it comes with a whole other set of challenges.
I bet. What are some of the unique risks that pharmaceutical companies face when using AI?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is data quality. The accuracy of the AI's predictions is completely dependent on the data it's trained on.
Right, so if the data is bad, the results could be bad too, potentially even leading to harmful treatments.
Exactly. That's why the guide highlights this case study about a pharmaceutical company that implemented this very rigorous data provenance tracking system.
Data provenance tracking, that sounds intense.
It is. It's basically about carefully documenting the origin and history of every single piece of data that they use to train their AI.
Wow, so they know exactly where each piece of data came from.
Exactly. It's like creating a detailed family tree for every data point.
Okay, I get it. So they're making sure that their data is reliable and accurate.
Exactly. And they went even further than that. They also used all sorts of advanced statistical techniques to validate the AI's predictions, making sure that they aligned with existing medical knowledge and the results of clinical trials.
So they were double-checking the AI's work.
Yes, they were super cautious because they knew the stakes were incredibly high.
I can understand why. Did they have any ethical concerns about using AI for drug development?
They did. They recognized that AI could potentially be used to develop treatments that weren't accessible to everyone or that prioritize profits over patient well-being.
Right, that makes sense. So how did they deal with those concerns?
They established both technical and ethical review boards.
Review boards.
Yes, these were made up of experts from different fields: medicine, law, philosophy.
A diverse group of people.
Exactly. And their job was to oversee the development and deployment of any AI systems.
So they were there to make sure that the AI was being used responsibly.
Exactly. They understood that AI is a powerful tool and that it needs to be used wisely and ethically.
This case study is a great example of why it's so important to think about the bigger picture when we're talking about AI in healthcare.
I agree. It's not just about the technology, it's about the impact it has on people's lives.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. It's clear that these ISO standards are playing a huge role in shaping a more responsible AI landscape.
Absolutely. And they go beyond just the technical side of things. They really emphasize the broader societal implications of AI.
And that's something we need to be thinking about.
Definitely, AI isn't just a tool for businesses or researchers. It's something that's impacting all of us.
Right, it's changing our world.
And in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to zoom out even further and explore some of those broader societal implications.
I'm really looking forward to that. Can't wait to see what insights we uncover.
Me too. See you in part 3.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been, really digging into the details of AI risk management.
Yeah, getting into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. And now I think it's time to step back and look at the bigger picture.
The societal impact.
Exactly how AI is changing the world around us. It really feels like we're at this turning point, this new era,
Full of possibilities.
but also uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure. AI isn't science fiction anymore.
Right. It's part of our everyday lives.
From the apps we use to the way we work to the cars we drive, it's everywhere,
It's almost like it's becoming this invisible force
shaping our choices, influencing our decisions.
without us even realizing it.
Right. And while this guide, really focuses on those practical aspects of AI risk management for organizations,
Right, for companies.
yeah, it also acknowledges that AI is having this much broader impact on society as a whole.
So it's not just about protecting businesses, it's about understanding how AI is changing humanity.
Exactly. We need to think beyond the technical stuff and consider the ethical, the social, even the economic implications.
That's a big task. So where do we even begin to unpack all of that?
Well, I think one of the most pressing issues is the future of work.
Oh, yeah.
As AI becomes more sophisticated, there's this growing concern that it's going to automate a lot of the jobs that humans currently do.
It's the whole robots are taking over thing.
Right. And I get it. It can be pretty unsettling.
It is unsettling, especially when you think about, your livelihood, your career.
Of course, change is always a bit scary. But it's important to remember that every time there's been a major technological advancement.
Right, like the internet.
Exactly. The internet, the automobile, the printing press, all of these things, they disrupted the job market.
Some jobs disappeared, new ones were created.
Right. And I think AI is going to be similar. While some jobs will definitely be automated.
New opportunities will emerge.
Exactly. Jobs that we can't even imagine yet.
Okay, so it's not necessarily a case of robots versus humans.
No, not at all. It's more like, reshuffling the deck, creating a whole new landscape of possibilities.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. But what about the people whose jobs are displaced by AI? How do we make sure they're not left behind?
That's a really important question, and
Yeah.
it's something we need to be thinking about now. We need to invest in those education and retraining programs.
Give people the skills they need for these new jobs.
Right. Equip them to succeed in this new world.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we should see it as a chance to learn new things and kind of reinvent ourselves.
Exactly. It's about being adaptable and, being ready for whatever comes next.
And this is where those governance frameworks we talked about earlier become really important, right?
Absolutely. We need to create policies that support workers through these transitions.
Policies that protect people.
Right? Things like maybe universal basic income or job sharing programs.
We need to have those conversations now.
We do. It's a complex issue, but it's one that we can solve if we work together.
All right, so we've talked about the impact on jobs, but what about some of the other ways that AI is changing society?
Well, another big one is privacy.
Oh, yeah.
As AI becomes more and more widespread, it's collecting massive amounts of data about us.
And sometimes we don't even know what's happening.
Right. We're leaving these digital footprints everywhere.
And AI is tracking our every move.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
Yeah.
And, this data can be used for good things.
Right, like personalized recommendations or better healthcare.
Exactly. But it can also be misused or exploited.
Leading to discrimination, manipulation, all sorts of problems.
Right. So it's a balancing act. We need to find that sweet spot between utilizing AI's power while also protecting our privacy.
It sounds tricky.
It is. We need strong data privacy laws.
Laws that give individuals more control over their own information.
Right. And we also need to develop better technologies that prioritize privacy from the beginning.
So building privacy into the design of AI systems.
Exactly. It's about baking it into the cake, not just adding it as a sprinkle on top.
I like that analogy. And I think something that's really important too is education.
Yes. We need to be more digitally literate.
So understanding how AI works, how our data is being used.
Right. And knowing how to protect ourselves.
It's about being informed citizens, not just passive consumers.
Exactly. The more we know about AI, the better equipped we'll be to deal with its challenges and make sure it's used for the right reasons.
This has been a really thought-provoking conversation. AI is forcing us to grapple with some really profound questions.
It is. Questions about what it means to be human and how we want to live in this increasingly technological world.
And while we may not have all the answers right now,
It's crucial that we keep asking those questions
keep having these conversations.
and keep working together to create a future where AI benefits all of us.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible. It's clear that AI risk management is about so much more than just those technical safeguards.
It's about having a vision for the future we want to build.
A future where AI is used for good.
A future where technology empowers humanity, not the other way around.
Well, that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI.
Keep exploring, keep learning.
And keep asking those tough questions.
The future of AI is in our hands.
That's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, stay curious.